Hey YouTubers, Christopher Wanamaker here doing a new updated video for the specific category on vehicle maintenance care services literacy. What this pretty much covers is, for the longest time I did not know a whole lot about, taking care of one's vehicle. I'm not a mechanic at all. I have an uncle who lives in Louisiana who is a mechanic, and he taught me some basic things like how to change a tire, how to change an engine filter, oil filter, drain the oil, find a place in the nearby area to take that oil pan full of used oil and have them, dispose of it properly, and then add coolant, add oil, and then windshield wiper fluid, change out wipers, some of the very basic thing, cabin air filter, things like that. So I know how to do the majority of that simple stuff, or the type of equipment I would need to do if I wanted to change my own oil. But other than that, there are other maintenance things that a lot of people don't, aren't aware of, even though it's like, hey, you have a vehicle. You need to know what are some of the basic maintenance things. And what I think of when I'm talking about this is about a little over a year and a half ago, I moved away from Colorado Springs, Colorado to Ridgefield, Washington. Well, right before I did that, I took my car in for services, for like an oil change and stuff. And then I met a woman who had bought, just a few years before, bought a brand new Hyundai vehicle from that Hyundai service center like I did, but yet she did not know some of the basic rule of thumbs of, vehicle maintenance services, like right around every 5,000 miles for newer vehicles that are 2,000 or older. 2000 or newer, excuse me, every 5,000 miles in oil change. Before 2000, it was like every 3,000 miles for vehicles that were that are older, that are before the year 2000. So she never heard that. I thought that was basic common sense, like everybody knew that, but I guess I was wrong. So, and then so she had the brand new vehicle. She probably put about 25,000 miles on it and then brought it in for an oil change and oil filter, cabin filter, tire rotation for the very first time after probably 3 years of use and 25,000 miles on it. So it kind of shocked me. I was like, no, 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 no. Because if you don't keep up with basic maintenance, and as soon as one thing goes down, then another thing goes down, then another thing goes down, and another thing goes down, it causes a domino effect. So as soon as something pops up, like you hear weird sounds, weird noises, its steering is being weird, or the lights on the dashboard pop up, you need to take that to a mechanic somewhere and get it looked at and checked out and then fixed as soon as humanly possible. Don't be like the person, like Penny from The Big Bang Theory, where she was giving Sheldon Cooper a ride, and he was pointing out your check engine light is on, and she's like, "Oh, it's always on," and it's like even more of a reason to go get it, checked out by a professional, certified mechanic. But she just wants to be lazy or doesn't have the money or whatever, doesn't do anything about it, and eventually one problem causes another problem, causes another problem, causes another problem, and the vehicle throws a rod, and now she has a giant paperweight for a vehicle. And it was her boyfriend Leonard who had to, spend money to get her a newer used vehicle to help her get around and to get to auditions and other jobs and all that kind of stuff. So, you have to, if you're going to spend whether it be a couple $1,000s for a used vehicle or tens of thousands for a new vehicle, you need to be willing to have the responsibility of taking care of your vehicle, whether you like it or not. Not on top of that, dealing with the Department of Licensing for vehicle registration, driver's license from the DMV, get registration stickers, get insurance, and all that through your bank and everything. But keeping up with basic maintenance services, especially the liquids and stuff it takes, the oils and all that, is very, very important. So if you don't know, then I'm telling you, if it's a vehicle that's before 2000, every 3,000 miles or right around that, you need oil change. If it's a vehicle that's 2,000 or older, you need oil change every 5,000 miles. But you also want to check your owner's manual for that vehicle if you have it. Because my vehicle, even though the mechanics say the rule of thumb is every 5,000 miles from my newer 2018 vehicle, my actual owner's manual says every 7,500 miles. So I know that as long as I get it somewhere in between there, 5,000 to 7,500 miles, I'll be fine. Now, before I was a Lyft driver for 2.5 years, and now I'm an Uber driver for a little over a year. And so usually as soon as I hit 5,000 miles, I make an appointment to get an oil change and filter change and tire rotation, all that. And then I would, as soon as I made that appointment, that's like a week to maybe 2 weeks out. So by the time I get in, if I'm still doing a decent amount of rideshare driving, I might even already put another 1,000, 2,000 to 2,500 miles. So by the time I actually get it in there, I'm right at around the point of I definitely need an oil change. Now, when it comes to oil changes, there's something else you want to do. Find out, um, how many quarts of oil does your vehicle take? Mine takes 5. Not only if as long as you can afford it, get the best kind of oil possible, synthetic. If you can't afford it, do what you can afford. But also, my uncle, who's a mechanic in Louisiana, recommends, highly, highly recommends, and stands by it. And I've been doing it pretty much ever since. And that is, once you find out how many quarts of oil you have that your vehicle takes, mine take 5. Do one less. So I'm going to do 4. Why? Because I'm going to go to the store, Walmart, Fred Meyer's, go to the automotive department, or even AutoZone and O'Reilly's, and purchase a thing of Lucas Oil Stabilizer. And if you get the big bottle, which is the big bottle, you use half of it for each time you do the changing out of oil. If you get the small bottle, use the whole thing. Add this to the same place you pour the oil, and this helps. It's almost like a vehicle engine anti-aging liquid. It helps like slow the pace of the engine deteriorating. It helps with the decreasing of the vibration of the engine in the vehicle as it gets older and it's more and more used and put more miles on it. So it's something that's extra additive to make the engine healthier and last longer. If you skip once or twice, doing this, that's fine, but try to remember most of the time. So my uncle definitely highly. It's a small bottle, couple bucks. The bigger bottle, several dollars at different locations. So that's one thing. Tire rotations. I would recommend, especially if you drive a lot like I do, every other time you go get an oil change, get a tire rotation. Tire rotations, they take off the tires, switch them around, and then they put in a machine, make sure they're balanced, and it helps with not only doesn't decrease the tread on the tire at a faster pace because it moves them around, but it also helps with the balancing of the vehicle, help with getting better gas mileage. If you do a tire rotation like every other time, or maybe 2 times skip, and the third time get it if you don't drive that much. Another really great idea to do is same thing. You can get this from O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Walmart, Fred Meyer's, and places like that in the auto department, and get it for a couple bucks. Engine shine degreaser. And what this does is you need to go to a car wash place with the spray pressure hose and the brush with the soap that comes out and all that. And you're gonna need to pop the hood, spray this all over the engine from every angle, let it sit for several minutes, 7 to 10 minutes, and then pop the hood again, have the pressure washer ready to go on water, and spray that thing down to get as much of the degreaser off as humanly possible. You might have the strong smell of the degreaser from the engine coming through the air vent for about a day, so keep your windows rolled down. And then after that, it not only does it clean the engine, gets all the dirt and grime and pine needles and all that kind of stuff out of there, but it does a few other things. Mechanics love it. They love it when the engine is really clean and everything, but it also helps because it's such a strong smell and it'll stick with it for a while that rodents don't like it. So they won't want to build nests and stuff in your engine vehicle, especially during the colder months and stuff. So a great thing to do there. Now, another thing that I do, which is a really big thing, is this. I have a 3-ring binder for my vehicle for maintenance services, and in the front I have 3 document protectors in them, and pretty much as soon as you get a vehicle, and even if it's a used vehicle, it was owned by other people, every time that the vehicle's in your possession, you get maintenance services done on the vehicle, you want to be keeping the maintenance service paperwork. Put it the newest one in the front, and then this does a couple of different things, but like, just for example, so this is, when I took it in, oil change and all of that. They do a multi-point safety inspection and all that. Last time I had new tires, or I get new rims, or I get new windshield wipers or whatever. I did that from Les Schwab, and then the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. I have the entire history of maintenance services done on my vehicle. And what does that do? Well, that does two different things. If you have all the maintenance services from pretty much the whole time the vehicle has been in your possession, when you go and try to sell the vehicle, that will allow you to sell that vehicle to somebody else at a higher Blue Book value, higher than average, because you have the entire maintenance history of the vehicle while it's been in your possession, from this mileage when you got it to the mileage when you sell it. So, but it does something else, and it really saved my bacon in a big financial way. When I lived in Colorado Springs, I went to, took my car in for maintenance services, and pretty much they, did a bunch of things, and then I left Colorado Springs, moved to Ridgefield, Washington, took my car to Hyundai Service Center in Vancouver, and I thought that the different Hyundai services, they talk to each other. They would be able to look up, all this information in their system of what have I had it done in another Hyundai service center. They don't do that. They don't talk to each other. So because of that, I was only bringing in for an oil change, a cabin air filter, tire rotation, maybe an engine air filter, maybe $100 worth of stuff. They come back to me and say, "Oh, no, you need transmission fluid, you need brake fluid, you need coolant replacement and all that." So it adds up to like over $800. So then I take all that and I'm like, I look in my binder, and because I talked to the mechanics before to find out for spark plug replacement every 90,000 miles, fuel injection replacement every 60,000 miles, coolant replacement every 60,000 miles, brake fluid replacement every 60,000 miles, transmission fluid replacement every 60,000 miles, brake replacement every 50,000 miles, or right around that. Same thing with tires for brand new tires. Engine filter replacement every 15,000 miles, cabin filter replacement every 15,000 miles, oil and filter replacement right around every 5 to 7,500 miles because of what my manual says. And so now, not only did I find that out from basic mechanics, hey, how often should each of these things be done, and wrote it down like you see here, but then I also wrote right here, when was the last time each of these things done at what mileage, and then so take that plus that amount of every 90,000 or 60,000 or 50,000. So what is the number of mileage when the next time it needs to be done? So knowing, just for an example, fuel injection, the last time that was done at 95,276 miles. So the next time it needs to be done is 155,300 miles. So when I, discovered that, I grabbed this binder, went right back to them, showed them that paperwork of when it was last done, because they had me do it 30,000 miles too early, and they charged me, $700 for it. So I went back there. They did up a memorandum and had the boss of the place sign it. It's like, oh, in the near future, he's gonna have to come in for new brakes and new rotors and some other stuff. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna deduct about $700 worth of maintenance the next time he comes in. We're gonna have a copy of the memo, and he's gonna have a copy of the memo. And that's what they did, because a few months later I needed new brakes and rotors and all that, and it cost quite a bit. So not only do I do that, but I do something else to have even more knowledge for the future for all these different things. When I need fuel injection, when I need coolant replacement, when I need brake fluid or brake replacement, all that, how much do each of those things cost? And how long, how much does it cost per hour for the mechanic to work on my car? So for the place I take it to, and one thing with me is, whatever the vehicle is, if it's a Hyundai, I'm going to take it to the Hyundai Service Center. If it's a Ford, I'm going to take it to a Ford Service Center. If it's a Pontiac, I'm going to take it to a Pontiac Service Center. I do not really want to take my vehicle that's a Hyundai to a Ford place or to a Pontiac place. I want to take it to the place of who actually built the damn thing, who knows the car inside and out, So that's something I do, but I'm also probably paying more by doing that to, so do what you can afford. But, now I know if I need a fuel injection, which is every 60,000 miles, it's going to be $185 at this place that I take it to down in Vancouver. If I need a coolant replacement, $190. Brake fluid replacement, $185. Brake replacement for one pair, so that's like just the front or just the back, that's $320 for one pair of brakes. So for both set, it'd be 640. Engine filter is $45. Cabin filter $80. Transmission fluid replacement is $285. Spark plug replacement is $23 per spark plug, and mine takes four, so just under $100. And then oil and filter replacements $45. And labor, for the mechanics every hour is $130. So those are definitely, certain things that I had to find out. I had to write down. I had to create trackers, and you got to learn how to take care of something that costs thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Because, like I said, it's pretty much a domino effect. If a check engine light of some kind on your dash pops up, and you just ignore it, that will probably, it's a domino effect, that will that problem will possibly cause another problem. It's almost like your heart having issues. If one area is not pumping enough blood, then the other tubes and the other veins are working even harder. So the engine is working itself hard, which means faster wear and tear on the engine. If one thing goes down, or two things go down, or three things go down, it causes other problems, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that. So highly recommend taking this information that I've shared with all of you and using it to be more on top of your constant vehicle services, and even write it down. Next time you go in for coolant and all that, when was the last time it done, at what mileage, how many miles from that point in time. So like coolant replacements every 60,000 miles. So once you got it done, 60,000 miles later, it needs to be done again, and you keep trackers of that. It will prevent mechanic scams from happening, or accidents. And accidents happen as well. You'll be able to sell the vehicle at a higher blue book value. I'm also about taking very good care of the inside of the car. I do like a Bissell shampooer, and at least once a year, if not more than once a year, I shampoo the interior of my own car. I have one of those water line garbage cans. I put all my garbage, and every time I go to a gas station, I empty it. It can even be very useful as a barf bag as well. I've had some people, being a rideshare driver, look like they're about to throw up. Oh, I'm fine. And sometimes they threw up, and sometimes I'm like, oh no, here I unhook it, give it to them, and they barf in it, and then they just take it inside, rinse it out several times with steamy hot water, and give it right back to me. So there's a lot of great devices out there. There's a lot of knowledge, but you got to be willing to spend a little bit more money now to stay on top of vehicle maintenance, so it doesn't cost you a bloody freaking fortune to fix all the problems with the vehicle later on. Because like I said, one thing, it's a domino effect. One thing causes another problem, because it's putting strain on the engine. So those are definitely my recommendations. Keep up with your vehicle maintenance services. Know this stuff, and stay on top of it, and you will be able, your vehicle will last longer, because you will be able to take great care of it. You take care of it, it will take good care of you. And usually most people rely on their form of transportation for for jobs, or searching for jobs and having a job. So most people who don't have jobs is probably because of lack of transportation. So take good care of your vehicle, and it will take good care of you. And that's all I pretty much have for vehicle maintenance services literacy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye. Have a good day.